I'm so grateful to be here. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What should I talk about today? Oh, I'm just kidding. All right. So I'm going to take everybody on a quick tour of RegenNetwork. I'll start by telling everybody a little bit about who we are, talk a little bit about our role in the bigger emerging regenerative finance movement, but also specifically here at CosmoverseHQ, collaborative finance. What's the role of Regen in this emerging interchain economy? And I want to take everybody on a quick tour of why regenerative finance, and of course, the big question that everybody's asking, when in CT, when ReFi, and I want to speak a little bit about some of the road bumps that we've been experiencing, because I think it's learning in public, building in public, it's important, and then we'll take a quick tour around the marketplace. So that's what we're going to be up to this afternoon. I may even be able to make a little bit of space for a couple questions at the end. Okay, so Regen, in terms of like, who are we? There's really two big pillars. I mean, in addition to the passion that our community feels about planetary regeneration and the role of ecological assets in an emerging economy, we have a badass engineering team. They're the technical leads of the Cosmos SDK. They build a lot of software that the whole ecosystem ends up using. And we also have engineering teams that work to build infrastructure for the United States Department of Agriculture in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture in Ecuador and in collaboration with research institutions around the world. So there's a set of problems that are both institutional and what I would say sort of core to the new institutions that we're building here in the Cosmos ecosystem, right? And those are the technical challenges of being able to anchor who is saying what about where, using what data and what methodology, ensuring that there aren't conflicting claims about carbon or biodiversity. These are common technological challenges that we support a variety of different institutions and groups to help solve using the Cosmos SDK, which is kind of a cool sort of the future of the Cosmos SDK as this modular, deployable state machine that is both crypto native and can be used in different contexts. So, and then the other piece of our engineering team is, our team, our community is really science. Like, we have an amazing science team. We build new methodologies for monitoring and measuring soil carbon or forest biodiversity. And increasingly, our science team is building out the ability to help other people develop methodologies, to do internal and peer review, to assure that the assets that are coming onto RegenNetwork are of high quality. So I really wanted to just give everybody a quick overview of, like, who are we? Who is the core team of Regen and what are we working on? Okay, so a little bit about RegenNetwork from a top level. We are the origination system for ecological assets. Right? So we're not necessarily building fancy DeFi derivative systems or high performance marketplaces. That's for the rest of the ecosystem to work on. What we're doing is building an application specific Cosmos zone for originating ecological assets. Right? And why is it important to have a sovereign and neutral space for originating ecological assets? Because there's a complex dance of science, technology, and social legitimacy that is perfectly suited to an app chain, where we're governing state as a proof of stake network, where we can create flexible governance councils around methodologies, quality control, minting standards, and then create these composable green money Legos that the whole world is hungry for. So there's basically three different elements of what RegenNetwork is building. Number one is eco credits, right? Just the concept of a unit. Sorry, I've been speaking a little bit far away there. That sounds a lot better. Eco credits are the concept of a unit of account that represents ecological health outcomes or stewardship outcomes. So being developed, there's more than 40 different types of eco-credits being developed by a broad global community around the world, and those span the gamut of soil carbon, jaguar biodiversity, hopefully plastics credits. There's this whole world of opportunity where real value, the value that is really intrinsic to our economy, can be expressed and internalized into the flow. So eco-credits, marketplace. How do people bring that into the market in a disintermediated, direct peer-to-peer marketplace where there aren't a bunch of broker dealers who are taking large cuts? Currently, the markets for carbon credits, you're really lucky as a project developer if you're getting 30% of the value that's being exchanged because there's so many different intermediaries. Imagine, when we launch the marketplace in a couple of weeks, there's no need for intermediaries because project developers, land stewards can list directly into a marketplace. They can choose their sell price. They can manage that whole process themselves. And then finally, standards governance. Now this is sort of the boring part, but really it's the exciting part. This is why I'm excited about the Cosmos SDK. This is why I'm excited about Cosmos. Being able to bring tools to communities that need to govern something that they all find is important. In our case, that's governing quality assurance standards for issuing carbon credits and biodiversity credits and plastic credits and marine protection credits. Okay, so I want to just take a moment, sorry for all the text, but I was reflecting on what I wanted to talk with everybody about, and I was thinking, a year ago we were in Lisbon together, and I was talking about some of the same things. So I wanted to give everybody a quick sort of tour through time. So we've been working on buying and selling and originating carbon assets over the counter, off chain, over the last year because we haven't had the marketplace built. Because we really believe in this, I think, sort of core Cosmos ethos of safety over liveness. Let's take the time to deploy technology in a way that is durable and resilient, and we're not just, going to move fast and break things. Why? Because we really need to generate a core of legitimacy and process for these sorts of assets to have long-term value. So what we've been doing is learning by participating in over-the-market carbon, over-the-counter carbon markets, originating, the first several vintages of native Regen carbon credits have all been just bought over the counter, right? So they're not even making it into the market. We're just about edging up to phase 2. So in October, we're launching the marketplace. This is a big deal. And shortly after we launch the marketplace, we'll be working with the osmosis community and many of the protocols and blockchains to start to build on-chain liquidity of the nature carbon ton. And we'll get into that a little bit. Phase 3 is really where this gets exciting. Really where the future of regenerative finance can be found is when we start to be able to automate purchases, right? Automate issuance, have clear mechanisms for price discovery, all built on a solid foundation of auditable, transparent, and community-governed credits. And what happens then? Well, we get the opportunity to then start responsibly financializing these ecological assets. And regenerative finance can really be born in full because we can start to do things like collateralizing IST with eco-credits. We can start to build out financial instruments that make it possible for us as a community to be long on planetary regeneration in a completely responsible way. So we're realigning our economic interests with ecological health. So just a quick little, a lot has been done, right? A ton of work has been happening, and moving forward, these really big, exciting milestones, we're just on the precipice. Marketplace launch, in-CT liquidity pool, forward contracts. These are all the really big features that are going to start transforming and making regenerative finance in the Cosmos world and really the interchain world possible. Okay, so the Nature Carbon Ton. We worked with our partners at Toucan and Moss to develop an interchain carbon standard called the Nature Carbon Ton, which allows a set of high quality legacy carbon credits that have been tokenized through an existing sort of one-way bridge system that Toucan launched to create a fungible asset. So the first liquidity that we're supporting being built in the ecosystem is going to rely on these assets that were one-way bridged. And then over time, we're going to be starting to bring online the native Regen eco credits so that we can sort of manage supply. Now, we sort of expected there to be some issues, right? And some of those issues are currently NCT is acting a little bit like STETH did, where because it's a one-way asset, it's possible for it to sort of depeg. So the Nature Carbon Ton, because it was a one-way bridge process that Toucan ran, is not reflecting the price of off-chain carbon markets, right? So in this latest bear market, it also took a dip. What's cool is that native Regen credits aren't going to have that issue because they'll be getting purchased by institutions and crypto markets, and there'll be that sort of full market efficiency. What's also cool is by us building a bridge and moving those assets over, we're unstranding them. We're creating a more efficient market for the Nature Carbon Ton to sort of like regain equilibrium as an appropriately priced asset. So the key to solving that issue is really, bridges and making sure that there's a connected marketplace. So the unexpected problem, I think the NCT thing, most of us who were paying attention saw that coming. The unexpected problem is that all of the native Regen credits that are coming online seem to be getting purchased before they are even going to make it on chain. Well, this is great because it shows institutional adoption and it proves out this thesis that native Regen registered credits that are produced in a blockchain native environment have institutional adoption. So that's like it's a quality problem, right? But on the other hand, it means that there's not as much liquidity as we might want for our blockchain community to access those credits, right? So the solution is really part of what's driving the future features of Regen Ledger, which is forward contracts and ex-ante credits, right? So this allows people who have a forecast of crediting demand to be getting into contracts directly with project developers without any intermediaries to ensure that there's liquidity coming into the marketplace. Very exciting. All right, so we have more than 5 million carbon tons natively being produced in Regen Ledger over the coming 8 months or so. There's a couple examples here: Carbon Plus Grasslands, a suite of amazing agroforestry projects led by Terragenesis International, the Dow Ocean Project, and many others. So there's sort of like this slow build of high quality credits that are coming into the marketplace. Sort of piece by piece, we're building these foundations for a robust and high quality marketplace for carbon and other ecological assets. And I think this points to one of the very interesting things. We're constantly getting asked, because, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but did people notice that regenerative finance sort of became a thing? A little bit. It's a big thing. I think Flow Carbon raised $70 million on a $600 million valuation or something. Toucan raised $25 million. There's been all of these, big hype and process. Meanwhile, little old RegenNetwork just keeps cranking along, but maybe not so little after all. Where's everybody going to get their credits from? Well, we're turning all of the potential competitors into powerful partners, right? When you have an infrastructure for people to be able to run quality assurance governance processes, when you have an infrastructure that allows people to tokenize and bring credits directly into the marketplace, when you have an infrastructure to basket those credits and turn them into liquid assets that's all already up and running, all of a sudden, partnerships and collaboration become pretty easy, right? Because actually all of these other projects, we can either bring their assets into our marketplace and give exposure to the amazing Cosmos community, or we can originate assets and flow them across bridges into the larger crypto ecosystem. So it's a really exciting moment in which the meme out-collaborate the competition is really coming true. It's very exciting. So now I get to speak just a little bit about the marketplace. If you want to just have a look at this, you can go to app.regen.network. We're finishing up the last little bit. We had hoped to give everybody a live demo and buy and retire some credits for the conference. But that'll happen in a couple weeks. We're finishing up a last little bit so that everybody can use their ledgers. Last little amino signing challenges so that we make sure everybody's interacting in the most secure way. So coming soon, TM, but really we're about 2 weeks out from unveiling the marketplace, which is going to allow people to buy, sell, retire, and trade carbon credits, which is very exciting. And one of the things that that's going to enable us to do is really start accelerating the carbon zero process. Who here is familiar with the Cosmos Carbon Zero program? How many of you are already offsetting your protocols with Cosmos Zero? There's a few. Osmosis, yeah, Stargaze, IXO. I think that there's Checked. I think that there's been governance proposals socialized in Evmos and Juno. Hopefully Omniflix is going to join. So what Carbon Zero enables us to do is, as an ecosystem, to really hammer home against the FUD that as an ecosystem we are carbon neutral or even carbon negative. It also allows us to give birth to a new interchain asset. So I want to go back here just for a moment to NCT. So imagine a world in which you are estimating your carbon footprint as a protocol or a validator. You're pre-purchasing that carbon for the next maybe 5 years, and then you're able to put the excess carbon that you purchased into a yield-earning liquidity pool on osmosis, then making it possible to automatically offset your footprint as a protocol or a validator that entire time while earning yields, while supporting an ecosystem to bootstrap liquidity, generate price discovery, and realign economic interests with ecological health. That sounds like a huge omni win to me. That sounds like a pretty exciting opportunity to, be part of a revolution and make it a WAGMI moment. We're all going to make it. So I wanted to leave everybody with just a little hint of, this is really beyond carbon. And some of the most exciting assets in my mind are things like Jaguar credits that can get bundled into Stargaze NFTs. Things like direct land stewardship protection credits. Things like the plastic credits that our friends at Empower are building. There's an entire universe of ecological assets that really are the foundation of a living and healthy economy, and that's what we're going to be bringing into the marketplace over the coming years. And by the way, check out the group module. You all can, right now, with the Cosmos 046, do non-token based governance. of any feature or function that any address in the Cosmos ecosystem can handle. That is a big deal, and I wanted to make sure that everybody was thinking about that. It's not a competitor with DAO. DAO is a token-based governance system. That's awesome. They're composable, they're interoperable, but there are some things you may not want to turn into a governance token. So I just wanted to shout out at the end while I had a moment. Go check out the groups module. It's going to revolutionize how we do governance in the Cosmos space. So rock on. Thanks for having me, Cosmoverse. It's been fun.